players I love, hate, and some sleepers. Jeffrey, let's get it started.
Yes, sir.
I love Baker Mayfield in week 7. He is the number 2 quarterback on the year, and he goes up against the Baltimore Ravens in the 4th highest over-under of the week. I think that there's a lot of points scored in this game, and Baker's going to have to keep up with those Ravens. The Ravens have allowed the 3rd most points against the quarterback position so far this year. Looking forward to see what the Bake Show can do. I also like both the quarterbacks in this matchup. Geno Smith going up against the Atlanta Falcons and Kirk Cousins going up against the Seattle Seahawks. 51 points projected to be scored in this game. That's the 2nd highest over-under of the week. I expect this to be a nice back and forth affair. Both Kirk Cousins and Geno Smith have been top 10 quarterbacks in the last 3 weeks. Geno Smith is quarterback 5 on the year. I definitely want pieces in this game. The Seattle Seahawks have allowed the 3rd most points to the quarterback position in the last 3 weeks. Kirk Cousins should light them up. And I love that the Atlanta Falcons are not only favored to win, but they have the 2nd highest implied point total on the week at 27. That means they expect the Falcons to be slinging it and scoring. Quarterbacks I hate and sleepers. I hate whoever's starting for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Whether it's Justin Fields or Russell Wilson, they're going up against the New York Jets. That's the 2nd best team in the league against the quarterback position. Yeah, Russ can run it a little bit, but I mean, are we really expecting Russell to get out there in his first game against the tough Jets and sling it and run all over the place? Probably not. I expect him to be below average as they get him back into shape. He hasn't played a game all year, and now he's supposed to come out and play the Jets? Wild. As for sleepers, why not Drake May? Going up against the Jacksonville Jaguars, who allow the most points to the quarterback position. The Patriots were letting the kid sling it. He threw it for 33 times, and he was getting it done on the ground a little bit too. I believe he had 38 rushing yards. That's pretty good. Up against a Jacksonville Jaguars team that doesn't scare you, I think this is a solid deeper sleeper. Now for a deep sleeper, that honestly makes me a little nervous, but the over-under is so high, I think he has to fight to get back. And of course that is Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton goes up against the Washington Commanders, who are middle of the pack in the year against the quarterback, but more importantly, the Panthers are huge underdogs, meaning Andy Dalton's gonna have to throw the ball to even compete. And if he's throwing the ball, he can probably throw it for 2 or 3 touchdowns and still lose by 7. So in a deeper league, you can start Andy Dalton as a desperation throw. Won't goose you. Wide receivers I love this week. Chris Godwin. Chris Godwin is currently the number 2 wide receiver on the year. That is absolutely wild. Also, he gets to go up against the Baltimore Ravens in the 4th highest over-under of the week. I definitely want pieces of this game. And the Ravens are not tough against the wide receiver. They allow the 2nd most points to the wide receiver position. And at the moment, Mike Evans is banged up. Now, I still expect Mike Evans to tough it out and play. But if he is more hampered than I think or can't give it a full go, Chris Godwin is definitely the benefactor of that. And in a game where people are projecting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to be down, you know they're going to have to sling it. Fire up your Chris Godwin, obviously. But I expect him to have a fantastic game. And I'm staying in the flames with Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin gets to go up against the Carolina Panthers, who are terrible. But this is the highest over-under of the week and the highest implied point total. Washington is projected to score 29.5 points. Let's go. Now he's going to have to get these points early in the game because after they go up by a lot, they're going to be running the ball a little more. But I believe Terry McLaurin should be a very good start this week. Did y'all know that he has the 6th most fantasy points in the last 3 weeks? Creeping up those leaderboards, baby. I'm sorry, Colts fans. I hate Michael Pittman Jr. as long as Anthony Richardson is starting. I just don't believe in him. I don't believe he's going to get Michael Pittman the ball as much as he needs to. Now, if it's Joe Flacco, fire him up. But the fact that it's going to be Anthony Richardson and Michael Pittman is dealing with an injury, and it's a back injury at that makes me kind of nervous. I feel like he could get knocked out of the game. He keeps playing with the idea of injured reserve. Like, bro, if you need to go on IR, just go on IR. But this back and forth, can I play this week or can I go to IR? I feel like that's a pretty big jump, and I really don't want to play with that. So if you have alternatives, I'd use it. Wide receiver sleepers for week 7, Jackson Smith-Njigba, currently a top 30 wide receiver on the year, going up against the Atlanta Falcons in the 2nd highest over-under of the week. I expect a lot of points to be scored in this game, and I think JSN could be a solid sleeper. Tyler Lockett's slightly banged up, but whether he's banged up or not, they need to get this kid more involved, and I think that they do that this week. Next up, Demario Douglas. Back-to-back games with 9 targets. Drake May comes in, and he's clearly the number 1 guy. He had the most targets in the team by far. He had 9. The closest number 2 was 5. In a game against the Jacksonville Jaguars, who have allowed the most points against the wide receiver position this year, when you adjust for schedule, Demario Douglas is a fantastic sleeper. Loving the targets, loving the opportunities, loving the matchup. Fire him up. Do we start these 3 big-time wide receivers either coming back from injury or changing teams? Starting off with Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp has been on IR the last 4 weeks. Do you start him when he comes back from injury? Absolutely. I will be 100% firing him up everywhere I have him. He's Cooper Kupp. He's one of them dogs. When he plays, I play him. And plus, they play the Raiders. I ain't scared of no Raiders. Shoot. Next, we have Davante Adams going from the Raiders to the New York Jets. Should you start him? Of course you start him. He's Davante Adams. Why do I keep getting this question? You start Davante Adams every time he plays because he's Davante Adams. He's a dog. One of them ones. Look at this man catch the ball and run. Can't keep him off the field. Now he gets his old boy Aaron Rodgers throwing in the ball. Get out of my way, Garrett Wilson. It's time for Aaron Rodgers to get an alpha in the house. Yes, Aaron Rodgers needed an alpha. Davante Adams was that alpha, not Garrett Wilson. Get over it. Maybe in the future, when he learns from a real alpha. Davante Adams ain't coming there to take no mess. He's coming there to score touchdowns and save his boy's career because Aaron Rodgers was looking bad. He's thrown so many picks. Davante, just run the right route. You're going to beat everybody. Lastly, Amari Cooper. This one is a little more up in the air and team dependent. The first 2, I'm firing them up everywhere I have them because I just couldn't sleep at night if I watched one of them drop 25 and me not get the benefit of that. But Amari Cooper, you weren't really relying on, so there's a chance that you have something better, so you don't really have to start Amari Cooper. But if you need to, I think you can. He's more of a flex play personally, so he's a tougher decision. But can you start him? Yeah, he's Amari Cooper, but how much of the playbook could he really know right now? It's going to be a lot of run that way, post, touchdown. Pow. He could get it done with 1 nice touchdown, to be honest with you. And you know how it goes when it's the first game of a player in a new offense. They want to make him feel special. Get him in the end zone. Running backs I love in week 7. Chuba Hubbard. Chuba Hubbard has been surprisingly good this year. Running back 6 on the year. He's in the highest over-under of the week, and he's on the losing side. What that means to me is Chuba Hubbard is going to be catching the ball aplenty in this game. He has had 4 or more receptions in the last 5 games. That's incredible. He's also had 90 or more rushing yards in the last 4 games. And the defense he's going up against is mid. So let me get this straight. The highest over-under on the week, he's on the side that's losing, meaning they're going to have to throw the ball, and they're going to throw it to him. So receptions, you can almost book that. And he's been rushing for 90 or more yards the last 4 games? Yeah, he's going to be fantastic. And I also love the running backs on the other side of the ball as well. Brian Robinson Jr. and Austin Eckler. I know that Brian Robinson Jr. is banged up, but if he plays, I'm playing him. The Panthers allowed the most points against the running back position, which is incredible. Both of these running backs should be viable. It's, again, the highest over-under of the week, and they're on the better side. The Commanders are projected to score 29.5 points. Those points are going to come in the air, they're going to come in the ground, and both of these running backs will benefit. I'm firing up both of them. I hate the Steelers running backs this week. Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren, they have a bad matchup against the New York Jets, and I have a feeling they're going to be down in this game. I think Davante Adams has a good game in his first matchup, reuniting with Aaron Rodgers. And on top of that, the Jets defense is good against the running back position. I'm concerned with both of them being banged up. Najee Harris coming off of a rib injury, Jaylen Warren coming off of a knee injury. I just don't see a lot of upside in this matchup. I see this more as a slugfest. The over-under is 28 points. That's not a lot of points to go around. Running back sleepers for week 7. Tank Bigsby. As far as I'm hearing, Travis Etienne's going to be a game-time decision. I think Tank Bigsby is going to be the benefactor of that. The Patriots have allowed the 4th most points in the last 3 weeks to running back position. I know Bigsby was terrible against the Bears, but I think he should bounce back against the Patriots. The previous 2 games to the Bears, he had 90 or more rushing yards. He should be able to do that against the Patriots team. Another sleeper, Alexander Mattison. At the moment, Zamir White is questionable. I'm not sure if he plays. If he doesn't, Madison's going to be the main dude. But most importantly, I think they're going to be down. Meaning they're going to need to throw the ball, and they're going to throw the ball to Madison because they're running out of players. Devontae Adams, gone. And everything can't go to Brock Bowers. So if you're desperate for a running back, I think he should catch 5 to 6 balls. Maybe get 30 or 40 yards. Could fall in the end zone. Anything could happen. Maybe not the end zone part, but the receptions for sure. If Ramondre Stevenson sits, you can start Antonio Gibson. And for everybody that's screaming at their screen about how none of these players are available in their leagues, Tyler Gibson might be available. He's only rostered in 8% of leagues. Jonathan Taylor's not going to play, and Trey Sermon is mid at best, going up against the Miami Dolphins team that sucks, and they're terrible against the run, allowing the 4th most points to the running back position. If you're desperate, you can start him. I'll be starting him in the league because injuries are killing me. I'm sure they're killing you too. Let me know who's killing you down in the comments. We can go through it together. Moving on to the tight end position. Tight ends I love and some sleepers. Brock Bowers is right now alone in this Las Vegas Raiders team, and he's that dude. And while he's that dude, you should start him. I get a lot of questions about who to start over Brock Bowers. Right now, basically nobody. He's had back-to-back games with 10 or more targets. Who gets 10 or more targets like this nowadays? Even without a touchdown, this man could get you 16 to 18 points. In a PPR league, that's wild. He might be the safest tight end out there right now. Obviously, fire him up. I get literally like 50 questions about him every week. Play him. He's amazing. I also love Evan Ingram, who went 10 for 10 last week for over 100 yards. Let's go. Welcome back to the squad. 10 for 10 is wild. I'm not expecting 10 receptions every week, but I do think he's going to be involved in this offense. They need him since nobody else can catch the ball. Tight end sleepers for week 7. Hunter Henry. The rookie's still deciding where he's going to be throwing the ball. I think the safety blanket of a tight end will help. You can fire up Hunter Henry. Now we're throwing darts. Zach Ertz is in the highest over-under of the week. If he can get it done early, you'll be happy. If not, hope for a touchdown. But it's the highest over-under of the week, so they're going to be slinging it at least for a bit. This last one is a desperation play because Russell Wilson started. So Russell Wilson likes his tight ends, and I think he's going to sling it a little bit. He's going against the Jets, so it's not going to be an easy matchup. But I think that Freiermuth should be a safety net for him. So that's love, hate, and sleepers. Who did I get right? Who did I get wrong? Let me know down in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell down below. Good luck in your matchups this week. See you soon. Peace.